There are 4,218 PS2 games, and I'm beating every one of them. I've got to own the game because I'm playing everything on the original hardware, but I've beefed it up with a RetroTink 5X, some component cables, and more to come soon. Can I do this before I die of old age? I hope so. Little Britain, the video game, was released in 2007 for the PS2, PSP, and PC, and is exclusively a PAL region game. Comprised of mini-games and characters from the skit TV show of the same name, review scores were scathing with not a single good thing about the game. Can I stomach a playthrough of one of the worst PS2 games ever? I began this game with pretty much zero expectations, except for the fact that everyone says it's one of the worst games for the PS2 ever, so maybe there were some expectations. I thought this was going to be bad, and it really was. Both the content and the gameplay, they're both just horrible, terrible things. I'll only address the content once here, and this show is supposed to be a skit show about stereotypes slash living in Britain, I guess. I don't know. Some of the stereotypes extend further outside of Britain, and they're not funny, and I'm sure some people would find some of them offensive because it's just like stereotype for stereotype's sake. And the worst part is that in between each of these so-called mini-games, of which there are 6, you'll see clips from the show. I don't even think they're original clips, as in they made them for the game. They're just pulled straight from the show. About 5 minutes, maybe even less of the clip between each one. So you beat the minigame, you see the clip, and it's sometimes completely unrelated. They might not even have the characters in the minigame you just played, as each of the characters is a special one on the show and has different like scenes and skits, but you might see a video for a completely different pair of characters and wonder why you're watching it. I mean, it doesn't set anything up, it doesn't resolve anything, so I don't really understand why they're even playing them. They aren't funny, they aren't interesting. I don't know. I have no setup and I have no resolution, so why do they even play them? Okay, now that that's out of the way, this game is made up of 7 total mini-games, 6 of which are unlocked immediately. The 7th one I will not play right now, is unlocked by beating all the other 6 mini-games with each of the 3 stars. There's a difficulty setting for each mission, easy, medium, and hard, and every time you beat one of them successfully, there's no other thing than just you successfully beat it, you get a star. When you get 3 stars on all of them, you do unlock that 7th minigame. However, it's kind of like this bonus unlockable. It doesn't show credits in any way, and it doesn't help in any way. And it's really more of a almost 100% type game thing, so I'm not gonna do it, and I'm not playing that 7th minigame. Okay, let's start with the first minigame. We play a bald, heavy dude who's dressed up as a woman, and this woman is supposed to be gathering CDs for a party she's going to have. And to do that, we must put roller skates on, roller skate through the city in this very linear fashion, pick up CDs, and also perform tricks, because you also get points by picking up the CDs and performing tricks. And the only actual thing you have to do is make 2 laps around this track. It's the same thing both times, so I'm not really sure why they have 2 laps, but you have about 7 or 8 minutes to do it, and there's really no way to fail unless you just keep smashing into things, which it is a little easy to do because there is a noticeable amount of input lag in every minigame. And this one is the most egregious one because you must control where you're going and you can run into things and fall over. If you fall over, you've got to restart, and if you don't make the 2 laps by the 6 or 7 minutes, then you're going to have to start again and play this minigame again. So you need to really pay attention to what's in front of you and hope that you can move out of the way in time. Now, while you're doing all this collecting and trick performing, you need to collect enough points to unlock the next minigame. You don't want to have to do these things over if you're ever going to consider it beaten, so just try to do it in one go. I don't think it's that difficult once you learn the button presses, but you need to not crash into things, because as you collect the CDs and don't crash, there's a bar at the bottom right that will fill up. When it's blinking green, it will then allow you to pull tricks off when you jump off anything. It doesn't matter what you jump off of. Jump off of a rail, push the buttons, and you do a trick. There's like 12 tricks, and it's just a combination of the 4 face buttons and 3 input sequences, so like X square triangle or circle triangle square. And when you do that in the air, you'll pull off a trick. The camera will do a slow-mo rotate around you while you shoot fire out of your ass, although I'm assuming that it's supposed to be from your skates, and you do a half-assed trick that doesn't even look good, and I'm not sure why it's doing that, and it honestly just wastes your time. But you need the points to unlock the next minigame. Now, luckily for me, I always got enough points for the next minigame. I don't know if it's because I'm good. Just assume that it's because they really don't even care about how often you play this game, just that you bought it in the first place. So this minigame is simple. Collect CDs abilities, perform some tricks, and get the shit out of there before it sucks your soul out. The next minigame is another man dressed as a woman, and this is starting to be a pattern here. What the fuck is up with this? Why do they have all these men dressed as women constant? Like, is that just one big joke? Okay, fine, whatever. He's dressed as a woman, and he's not supposed to be fat, but he is, and the whole idea is that you're playing Pac-Man, and you're eating biscuits. So this character hates heavy people, but is shoving biscuits into his/her base, and then during the Pac-Man sequences, you are being chased by the ghosts, which in this game are called fatties, and if you collect a big biscuit, you can then kick the fatties out of the maze. That's it. There's nothing else special. You have to collect 503 biscuits, or you don't win the minigame, okay? The next minigame is also another man dressed as a woman, and I just don't understand why they're doing this constantly. Like, it's not funny. It was never funny to start with. Like, woo. So anyway, this one is you're in your house, it's your birthday, and you love frogs, but you don't like real frogs. But so much so that you'll smash them into pieces. So you have a bunch of frog memorabilia around the room, and you just press to go over to a section of your living room, and then you choose the section you want to smash, and you hope that it's a real frog. And after you smash it into bits, you can't just leave its carcass. You have to smash it until it is disappeared. So you just have to have a bunch of animal violence over here, like smashing frogs. She can't even like pick them up and move them around her house. No, she can't touch them because they make her bumpy, is what the description says. So you smash the frogs, and then the very end of it shows a frog smashing against your window, guts spewing out everywhere. I don't fucking understand this game. The controls are horrible. The frogs purposefully jump out of the way when you select somewhere to attack. I mean, obviously they have to have it programmed in a certain way to make it so that they can dodge your stuff, but it's not fun. You just kind of aim where you want to hit, and then when you hit, the frog jumps out of the way. I don't even know. I just spammed the buttons. I don't even care about breaking my own shit. Apparently you're not supposed to break your own stuff, but who cares? The next minigame is another pair of dudes dressed as women, and they have umbrellas, and they have, I just don't, like, I don't why. We haven't played just some regular dudes, and they're all dudes. Why are we playing dudes dressed as women all the time? Anyway, this one is like this mix between soccer and golf, where you kick a soccer ball, and you need to make at least 3 goals within the time limit of about 4 minutes. And you can aim the ball up or down, or kick it straight across the ground, and you need to get it to the goal and just make it in. That's it. Or you can go to these little targets on the sides to get points. And it's really hard to tell what the meter is for kicking the ball. Like, what does the meter signify in strength? Sometimes it kicks it really short, sometimes it kicks it really long, and you put it on the same spot. It's just really hard. And it's one of those meters where you hit the X button as your character's going up to kick it, and it will slowly go down. So you have to keep bashing on it. And if it gets too high, of course, you're going to kick too far, so you just got to let it go down. But you don't have any control of the actual strength, man. It doesn't feel good. It feels like shit. And I just kicked into the goal a bunch of times and said I'm done. The next minigame is another man dressed as a woman, and this time you have to play like this like Tetris type game. It's like Mean Bean Machine type game where you have food coming into your stomach. You're shoving food in your mouth, and you need to match it up in 3s or 4s or 5s. I don't even know how you get 5, but you can match it up in 3s and 4s. And as long as you fill that bar up, the higher the bar is, when you're done, the more you throw up. And the whole goal is to fill your stomach until you throw up on your friends. That's it. There's nothing else. You just hold down so that the pieces fall quicker, so you can get done with the mini game quicker, and then spew vomit all over your friends. And I didn't even know you could aim up with the vomit. I just puked on their shoes. I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing, man. This next mini game is just the most bizarre decision to ever. I just don't understand. So you're a character who is gay, okay, but the real person I don't think is, and he's pretending that no one else is gay. And to do that, you must ride your bike through the streets and just run over other people who are, in your words, pretending to be gay, and punch them. And then you also need to pick up nude magazines, which are gay nude mags. This is the premise for this minigame. And your character spews out all this stuff about how no one else is gay and only you are. And I don't know what stereotype they're going for. I don't understand it. I don't know. I've never heard someone speak like this, or in the way they're speaking. I don't even know how it could be considered a gay character. I just don't understand. I don't know what's happening. And the controls are terrible. It's another version of the skating one from the beginning. In fact, it's the same dude. He's just dressed up in this like skin-tight uniform that's shiny. It doesn't even look like someone would want to wear that ever. I've barely ever seen anyone wear something quite like that except for him. Okay, sure, fine, it's a stereotype, but why are you doing this in this level? It's the same skating thing. You're just on a bike. I'm just trying to stomach this game as I finish it. Okay, the last mini game is the pair of characters. One of them is wheelchair bound, in quotes, and the other one is his friend, and he's too accepting of pretty much anything anyone says to him, including his friend who's in the wheelchair. So the friend in the wheelchair is actually not disabled. He can get up and do stuff. That's the whole joke. I think that's the whole joke every single time. And so the whole goal of this minigame is while your friend is busy talking to someone, you have like 2 or 3 minutes to just get up out out of your wheelchair, run over to a diving board, and do some tricks off a diving board. And sometimes if you go to the high dive board and try and do tricks to get points, you will like catch on to the ceiling and your friend will look over and ask how you got up there. And you'll say, I fell, and he just believes you. And then you go back to the chair and you can try again. And you have to be back in the chair before he looks at it. So once the timer is done, you need to be back in the chair. So when he looks at it, you're still in the chair. So he believes your ruse? I don't know. But jumping off the boards is stupid as shit. You jump off and you press some buttons again to do a trick. You can't do more than one trick. You just can't. There's no time. And it doesn't matter anyway. I mean, why would you want to do the tricks? I've already unlocked all the mini games at this point. So doing them is just a formality so I can beat this game. And that's it. That's all the mini games. You play 6 of these mini games. They're horrible. They're not fun. They're rip-offs, honestly. The Pac-Man one and the Tetris one. There's 2 mini games that are just too similar. The skating and the bike one. I mean, they're almost the same thing. You need to dodge stuff and pick stuff up off the ground. In case of the bike, you know, you just run over people, and the roller skates, you just avoid stuff most of the time and do tricks. And that's it. That is it. This is the game. It's so, it looks bad. It plays bad. The humor is just dumb. It's stupid as shit, man. The only reason you laugh at this is because of how absurd it is and how they thought it was going to be funny. I don't know. This is not my type of humor. Like, it's got to be really dark. It's got to be like over the top or, you know, like really interesting. But none of this is interesting. I mean, like the character who comes out of his wheelchair might be kind of funny, but it's the same every time. His friend is always confused as to what's going on, and his friend is really not disabled, and he gets up and does stuff. And he's like, how did you do that? That's how it is every single time. Every single time. It's just different circumstances. Like, don't eat this chocolate until this person comes over, and then when he walks out of the room, his friend gets out of the wheelchair, gets the chocolate, eats it, puts it back, and he goes, where'd the chocolate go? And he goes, that's it. That's it. That's the joke. So yeah, this game was made possibly under duress, and the people who put this together probably were paid next to nothing. I mean, it looks like this game took a week. I don't even know if the people came in to actually do the voices. I think they did, but why? Why would you see this and go, yeah, this is going to be fun. This is going to be memorable. It was terrible. It was horrible, and I feel bad playing it. Honestly, it just terrible. I'm glad I'd never paid and had them get money. I paid like someone else who already had the game, and so no one else is making money off of this, just the dude who owned the game. So whatever. This game is done. It's game number 69, and yes, I purposely decided this is going to be game number 69. Joke number, joke game. At least the joke number is funny, but the joke game is terrible. If you ever want to play this, just convince yourself not to, unless you really, really have a goal to play it. I saw someone speedrunning it. It's actually the reason why I stopped at 6 mini games. They don't speedrun, at least he didn't speedrun the 7 mini games, so I mean, there's no reason to. Like, it's barely a game, dude. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone who watched this video, who watched one of the worst games ever made. Thank you so much to all the memberships from YouTube, Patreon, and Twitch. It's making it possible to get more and more games, to play more interesting and more obscure and more hidden gem games, even popular games like Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter, and then these games where it's just horrible and we all know it's gonna be horrible. So thank you, Kyokyo Disaster, for being the one to donate for this game and choosing this game. I mean, even though it was horrible, it was still fun to play during this challenge. I mean, I gotta play them all eventually, so thank you so much, dude, and thank you everyone. Thank you everyone who's in the stream, who just comes to hang out. I really appreciate this. This challenge is really fun, and I just want to share it if anyone's interested. So I'll be back with another video soon. Later.